Assalamu alaikum. Now I would like to give my presentation on UCP 13 articles reimbursement arrangements. That means it is the way of paying against the documentary credits. How the documentary credits will be paid in field dedicated field 78. The reimbursement authorization and all the details of the banks are given so that the negotiating bank, confirming bank, or presenting bank can claim reimbursement after negotiation, and the claiming information is given into field 78 of documentary credit. Bank to bank 13 UCP reimbursement arrangements. If a credit states that reimbursement is to be obtained by a nominated bank, claiming bank, claiming on another party, reimbursing bank, the credit must state if the reimbursement is subject to the ICC rules for bank to bank reimbursement in effect on the date of issuance of the credit. If a credit does not state that reimbursement is subject to the ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursements, the following apply. An issuing bank must provide a reimbursement bank with a reimbursement authorization that conforms with the availability stated in the credit. The reimbursement authorization should not be subject to an expiry date. The information is given into the documentary credits SWIFT field 78, details of the banks to whom the negotiating bank or claiming bank should claim for reimbursement, and reimbursement authorization actually is uh, is a separate reimbursement information given to the bank in which the issuing bank's arrangements or accounts are existed, and it should not be subject to an expiry date. If it is cancelled, okay, cancel information is given to that reimbursing bank, and if any charges are claimed by the reimbursing bank, it should be deducted from the issuing banks. And who will pay the reimbursing charge or deduct the reimbursing charge from the reimbursing claim? It should be cleared on the documentary credit. A claiming bank shall not be required to supply a reimbursing bank with a certificate of compliance with the terms and conditions of the credit. If the conditions is in the documentary credit, then that means the certificate of compliance with the terms and conditions of the credit may be sent to the issuing bank or with the documents, but not to the reimbursing bank. Reimbursing bank that just will get a claim and sought for or seek for the reimbursement authorization exists or not, and you will debit credit the accounts. There may be 3 days times to execute these reimbursing claims. An issuing bank will be responsible for any loss of interest together with any expenses incurred if reimbursement is not provided on first demand. A demand came, and there is no authorization, or the issuing bank has intentionally or willingly or unwillingly for forgetfulness has not given the reimbursement authorization to the reimbursing bank. If any interest comes after getting the claim, then issuing bank will pay. If the reimbursement is not reimbursing bank is not able to pay on first demand, and this kind of clause, interest or charges or penalty will pay, will be uh, actually mentioned in the documentary credit. A reimbursing bank's charges are for the account of the issuing bank. However, if the charges are for the account of the beneficiary, it is the responsibility of an issuing bank to so indicate in the credit and in the reimbursement authorization. The charges will pay regarding the reimbursement or payment must be mentioned in the credit. If a reimbursing bank's charges are for the account of the beneficiary, they shall be deducted from the amount due to a claiming bank when reimbursement is made. If no reimbursement is made, the reimbursing bank's charges remain the obligation of the issuing bank. If no reimbursement is no claim came, LC is cancelled. Reimbursing banks says if any charges arises, it is from what it should be paid by the issuing bank. An issuing bank is not relieved of any of its obligations to provide reimbursement if reimbursement is not made by reimbursing bank on first demand. An issuing bank is not relieved of any of its obligations. Issuing bank will have to be paid. If any charges arises, that also have to be borne by issuing bank. If the reimbursement authorization is not got by the reimbursing bank on first demand. Okay, we'll discuss elaborately URR in when we'll discuss URR 722, URR or URC, URR, Universal Rules for Reimbursement, Bank-to-Bank Reimbursement. But this is the general reimbursement arrangements. If reimbursement authorization is not given by the or unwilling to provide by the issuing bank, they can get this kind of payment clause. If the documents are received in compliant presentation, then we shall pay as per covering schedules information provided by the presenter or presenting bank. Okay, this this is all for today. 13 is with 13 bank to bank reimbursement arrangements. Thank you very much for being with me.